One of the greatest things is when you plant a seed and you see that seed coming to life. It's really exciting. And we've been doing this with the kids. We've been planting things, and we've been monitoring how quickly different things take to germinate. What's really exciting is we've got things growing inside on the windowsill, and we're really lucky to have a greenhouse. It is a little bit broken, a couple of panels that got broken, so we've got to fix those. That is on the list of things to do. But in the greenhouse we have some seeds growing. So I've got some wild rocket, I've got some red and green mixed shisho, which are Japanese herbs. I've got some salad leaves. So down here are my different trays of things, and you can see my salad coming up, which is so super excited. We've got pumpkins planted, but the pumpkins haven't come up yet. So what have I planted? People keep messaging me saying, what are you planting? What are you growing? We don't have, as I said, a massive garden, so we can only grow a small amount. I'm very blessed that we can grow stuff. So I've got loads of salad growing, because salad's really easy and quick to grow. And for me, that's the important thing. It's like, let's get some stuff growing quickly that we can be eating, that doesn't take a lot of maintenance. And so that's great. So salad. So as I said, we've got the rocket, we've got the shisho, we've got the mixed salad leaves. I've also got some pea shoots growing. Pea shoots are great because you can eat them as a lovely salad. They're one of my favourite salads, and you just chop them as they grow. You just chop them and munch on them, and they've got such amazing flavour. Those can be grown inside on a window ledge, so really simple to grow. Inside I've got chilli and tomato seeds growing. We've got cucumber and courgettes. Some of my favourite things to grow are chilies. I'm really happy because inside I've still got chilies growing from last summer, which is great, because I brought them inside. So they're on the windowsill getting lots of sun, and they keep growing. I've planted some, let's go and have a look actually. I've got a bed over here, and I've planted some beetroot. Let's see if they've come up yet. They are outside, so they are going to take a bit longer. So in this bed here, I've got lots of beetroots which I've planted. Beetroots are delicious and such a nutritious food to have. Are really good for the liver and supporting the liver. And in the toxic world we live in, we really need liver support as much as we can. So those are the things that I've planted. We planted some carrots the other day in a pot, and we're planting potatoes out the front. In fact, Samuel and Tom are just digging over a new raised bed, which I will take you to in a little bit, which is going to have potatoes in. I've got my goji berry bushes, which someone really kindly gave me cuttings of last year, which all seem to have taken. And the herbs I've got, well, I've got some herbs. I've got herbs everywhere because I love herbs, as most of you know. Down here, look at that guy there. That is some fennel. And that fennel is just buzzing. The colour of it, I don't know if you can really get the full vibrancy of that powerhouse there, the fennel. Wow, look at that. Fennel is just such an amazing food. It's so good for our digestive system. You can make tea with it. You can eat it in salads. Tastes incredible. I didn't used to like fennel because it had too much of an aniseedy flavour, but I absolutely love it now, and I know it's really beneficial for my stomach, for our digestive system. I've got my new bed here which Giles made me with those lovely flowers there, and as I was telling you earlier, I've got some spinach growing here. We've got some wild garlic. Now I got that wild garlic from Herbal Haven, which do amazing herbs. I got that last year, and another patch of it sprung up this year, which is great. We've got, as you all know, I like my patches of weeds, so we've got our cleavers here, which I use to make tea. Cleavers or sticky weed. Tea, put it in smoothies, put it in soups, infuse water in it. Such a simple way to use things is just to infuse things in water, like stick them in water overnight and it will come back up. So that's really good. You know, I'm not a gardener who likes to plant things in rows. I like to do more of the permaculture kind of style, where it's a bit of everything all mixed in, so you've got all the different layers. So over here, if you can see, we've got our currant bushes, Currants are such a great source of nutrients when they come up, so I'll be looking forward to those all coming up. And obviously feeding your trees and your plants and pots is really important. So we like to make, we're just about to start making a mixture for this year, nettles and comfrey. I haven't found any comfrey by me, but there's lots of nettles, so we're going to put nettles in a big bucket with lots of water and leave that to sit. You can also urinate in there for added nutrients. If you're a woman, you can also put certain other things, your menstrual blood, in there to give a large amount of nutrients, and then you take that and you dilute that with water, and you feed your plants with that. So really simple thing to do, really useful. And it's great to get out in the garden. It's great to get active and making things and growing things. You know, for me, making my own medicines, making my own food is so important. And I ran a workshop last Saturday, which was brilliant, on making home remedies, and everyone really loved it. It was my first online workshop of that manner. So that was really good. And people wanted more. So in a few weeks, 3 weeks, the 26th, I think it is, of April, I'm doing a growing, foraging and making online workshops where I'll be talking about what stages, what things you can grow at that point, what you need to be doing with what you're growing, what you can forage at that point, and then what you can make from all those things. And I'm going to do those once a month, in person when I can, or via online when I can't. So I'm going to show you a little bit more of some of the stuff that we've got growing, because I think it's really good to be able to see things, isn't it? So down here, as I've told some of you before, I love having my weeds in pots. So this here is the garlic mustard, which is such a delicious flavour that you can put in food to season it, and that's a wild food that you can go and forage for. There's a lot in our local area as well. In here I've got another bed that my husband just made. We've got this kind of steep bank, so he's been really clever to make special beds that I can plant things in, which is making use of space that otherwise would just be dead space, really. So that's a brilliant thing. And in here I've got my calendula. Now calendula I love to make oils with, to make balms, because calendula is very soothing and calming for the skin. You can also put calendula into salad, so that's an amazing thing. And we've had flowers remarkably throughout the year, which is incredible. There's a flower over in the other bed right now, and we used one on the weekend as well. So calendula is just such an amazing thing. This is another powerhouse. Look at this guy, hang on. Ditanda. I love Ditanda. Ditanda's got that spicy taste to it. It's a bit like a mixture between horseradish and wasabi, and you break a bit of the leaf off and you chew it, and it's amazing. It's got a real peppery kick. Really, really delicious. Great in salads, great in sauces. And over here, look at this bad boy. This is a goji berry. Now goji berries were native in our hedgerows, which I just think is incredible. I'm going to come up here with you guys and have a chat up here. So goji berries were native in our hedgerows, and it's something that you can still find in the hedgerows if you look. The little red berries. Always, if you're foraging, make sure that you check what you're foraging for. You cross-reference it, because that's really, really important to know what you're actually picking. Richard Maybe does a great book, Food for Free, which is a wonderful companion to foraging. And I think it's great to get out and forage and see what you can find in your local environment. Loads of stuff you can make teas, loads of stuff you can make foods from, as I've talked to you about before. And I'm going to be taking you guys out on a regular basis looking for foods in my local environment. But the best place to start, obviously, is where you are specifically. If you don't have a garden, start on your windowsill. If you do have a garden, make use of that space. A lot of people in the wartime dug up their lawns and turned their gardens into allotments. What a clever idea. But you don't have to get rid of all your lawn, but why not plant the plants that you plant to have a value, to have either a medicinal value for teas or foods, or obviously being an actual food. You know, let's plant fruit trees, let's plant nut trees, let's plant foods that are productive, plants that are productive. And obviously flowers are productive in a different way. They're such a beautiful thing that give us such joy. But there are lots of flowers that you can eat. So you could plant nasturtiums, a beautiful orange flower which you can eat. So it's really good to start looking at these different aspects and these different angles of what you could be planting at this time when people are restricted more to being in their own spaces, to being in their garden, and looking at what you can produce yourself, because it's the best kind of food. When you pick food fresh from your garden and you eat it, that's got the most life force out of anything. It's got the most vibe, you know, it's the most potent medicine for you because you have grown it. And it's connected with you on that deeper level. So look into what you can grow. Get your herbs going, get your salad growing. Those are really simple things. If you don't know where to start, that's where you start. You start with your herbs and you start with salad. Potatoes, super easy to grow. You can now buy these brilliant like potato sacks. And with the potato sacks, you put your potatoes in your soil and you water it and everything. And then you just open up a flap and out come the potatoes. Really easy. You don't need much space for that. You can have those at a back door. So a few tips on what you can grow and what you can find in your local area, and I will see you all soon.